Traditions are just one important part of our time on this planet. They give us cause to celebrate and rekindle, to create new experiences and relive old ones. Traditions are woven into the fabric of many of our lives, and for fishermen, they can hold an especially important place close to the heart. One annual tradition that I look forward to every year is a long-awaited spring bass fishing trip in Kansas with some of my closest friends. For many years now, we have made the long voyage from the Rocky Mountains to Prairie Dog State Park in the northwestern part of the state. That is where you'll find Keith's Sebelius Reservoir, an awesome multi-species fishery thick with bass, walleye, wiper, and crappie. Normally, our spring trip would have us focused on pre-spawn and spawning bass, usually in the backs of timbered coves and shallows. However, this year Mother Nature threw us a curveball and a blizzard rolled through most of western Kansas just days before our arrival, with tons of wind and lots of snow. Needless to say, the water temps plummeted with runoff and the bass moved off shallow structure and became tight-lipped with the onset of the post-storm high pressure. With our target species going cold, we chatted with some locals and made some on-the-fly adjustments in our strategy. Exploring wind-blown points on the main lake, we quickly stumbled onto a heavy-hitting wiper bite that was unlike anything any of us had experienced. We capitalized on several days of hungry hybrids and added a few bonus species for good measure. Come along as we check off another awesome year of an annual tradition that has brought us some of our biggest smiles and even bigger fish.
Hi, I'm Mike McFarland, and welcome to the Colorado Wickedfisha. On today's show, you're invited to come along as we hammer some beefy Kansas wiper on our annual spring fishing getaway. Instead of the usual pursuit of pre-spawn largemouth, Mother Nature forced us to switch it up and start targeting the hybrid striped bass that have a reputation for growing large and hitting hard. Well, they certainly didn't disappoint, and we put together one heck of an action-packed episode for you folks. I'm sure excited to see what happens on the program. I hope you guys are too. Let's get wicked.
Fish on.
We've been fishing about 10 minutes here, and James hooked into a nice one to start us off. Looks like a good largemouth. What do you think?
Having fun already. Good day so far.
Yes, it is. We just got started. Look at the belly on this one, guys. Raw, saggy belly. Way to get into a little football. Let's see it.
All right, so we got out on the lake here at Keith's Sebelius, and immediately we worked back into one of the coves, hoping to find that, that pre-spawn mode bass bite. And we worked the cove almost a mile long, all the way back, flipping into the structure, flipping into some really nice flooded timber that was providing good cover. And we've only got one fish in the boat. Maybe we ought to head back that way, maybe troll a little bit or try to get a reaction bite.
Yeah, let's get out there.
Something.
This midday sun can't be helping us too much either.
Yeah, we got to keep that in mind. Anytime you get a cold front that's followed by these bright blue sky days, that can be a difficult bite. So we're going to try to work with it. Hopefully the fish are just feeling a little suppressed here as they recover from that high pressure and the cold front that went through. So we're optimistic. Here we go.
fished hard for the remainder of the day, staying hopeful that the bass bite would come alive. But after hours of fishing with only a couple scrappy little drum to show for it, we knew we would have to change our approach if we were going to have success on this trip. Luckily, a friendly local pointed us in the right direction, and the following morning we headed out with new intentions. Leaving our largemouth aspirations behind, we searched main lake points for the feisty wiper that were rumored to be plentiful and hard-hitting.
Fish on.
Yeah, baby. That's how we do it. Some wicked fishing right there. Little snap retrieve on a swim bait, and bam. Oh yeah, it's a decent fish. Oh, it's a good one. A little bigger than my last one.
Oh yeah.
Keep his nose up. Yes, sir. Stoked. All right, throwing my first crankbait, really a jerkbait, kind of stick bait style. Dynamic J-spec. And this really feels like a good wiper, possibly a carp, but probably a wiper. Oh, it's a heavy fish. This is fun. All right, let's see this big guy home. Here we go. When you fish it right, the action of the lure is so different. It's really enticing. And within 5 casts of changing it up, you caught a fish. Booyah.
There it is. Wickedfisha fans, that's my man JB, showing us how we do it in Kansas with a fat wiper. Look at this thing.
We are on a wiper streak here, guys. You know, we came and yesterday we spent all day moving around in the shallow back of coves, thinking, okay, you know, we got 60-degree water. This is going to be a great bass pre-spawn bite. And it was ice cold. We had a blizzard move through, big cold front 5 days ago or so. And it really blasted the lake. A lot of snow. They actually got about 10 inches of snow right before we arrived. And so this cold front was very powerful. So the only thing that's really going off right now is the wiper. And we couldn't be happier about that. Oh, it's a big one, JB. Oh, he's good size. You ready? This is wicked fishing. Oh, it's wicked. Yeah, I can't be happier. I mean, there's not a lot to this technique, you guys. You bring stuff that looks like shad, swim baits, jerk baits. You know, rip them quickly. Basically, as fast as I can burn this reel is how we're fishing. Wow. Fish on? Fish on. Wow. You look kind of happy, man.
I'm pretty happy. That was fun.
What a fight. They really do. They battle and battle.
Came right out of those little bushes right there.
I mean, you guys, we're sitting right now in the boat in 4.5 feet of water. So we know those, that bush line over there, that can't be any more than, what do you think, 2 feet deep? These wiper are sitting in real shallow. Wow, what a fighter, huh? Very quality fish, I think. Yeah, this is a quality one, guys. Wow, did you see him?
Yeah.
He just flashed, we got a little view. And it was not a disappointing look at what is going to be a nice fish. Yeah, James Brown, how you feeling?
Feeling real good. That one put up a fight.
Wow.
He's tired, he's heavy.
So this is the biggest fish of the trip so far, guys, and it's pretty obvious. I mean, he's hanging well past the 20-inch mark. All right, guys, we're pulling up to Garrett and Jared here, and shortly after adopting the technique, boom, wow, wow, wow. It is a good sized fish.
On board.
And Garrett has joined the Wiper Club of Norton, Kansas. Yep, at the boat, wow. Look at this medium heavy rod. Woo! Bent right over, folks. Oh my word, it's a good one. This is a hefty one. You see how tall he is?
Yeah, he's big.
His belly to his back is a fine looking measurement. This is exciting.
That's the biggest fish of the trip right there. He's big.
All right, we got the biggest fish of the trip potential here, team. Woo! Once again, we're gonna cruise to check out our friends who are hooked up on what appears to be a decent wiper. We're gonna get a look at the G-Man and how he wrestles his fish, folks. Look at that rod bend, boy. Woo! Boom.
Lunker.
Oh, that thing is a toad.
Bunker status.
Just another example of why we have come here. James, how you feeling, bud?
Pretty good. That was a fun one. He put up a fight. He got a nice big old fat belly on.
Oh, let's take a look at that belly. Wow. Chunky. Let's get a rod bend perspective here. Oh. That's what it looks like when you're fighting a wiper, baby. Okay, this is the fish of the trip, guys. We just took the measurement. This is our biggest fish. And I know James is, he's pretty much on cloud 9 after that.
That was quite the fight. He's heavy.
Look, I mean, look at the belly. Let's see his belly.
Real old fat belly on.
Yeah.
Gear check.
Okay guys, I'm just going to take a quick look at the bait profiles that have been working really well for the Kansas Wiper. And the name of the game out here is erratic retrieves with high action baits. And what I mean by that is baits that kick off a lot of vibration and tend to attract the fish and elicit that reactionary strike. So right here we have a soft plastic swim bait. We Texas rig it with a sliding sinker, and that thing has been kicking off lots of vibration, and the vast majority of our fish have come on soft swim baits like this one. And then above that you can see a stick bait. This is a jerk bait, crankbait style. Of course, it's got the bill, and we are ripping it in really fast. It has a very nice erratic motion as it comes in, and occasionally I'm pausing it, and I've had a lot of strikes on the pause. So between these two baits, I've caught 95% of my fish on this trip. You can see, in fact, that this hard bait, the paint job is basically destroyed from all the wiper I've been catching. So it just goes to show that if you can get a high action bait in front of these fish, and you can have that erratic retrieve, you can really elicit that, that very reactionary strike that we're looking for.
Okay guys, so one of the other things you really want to understand when you're coming to a reservoir like this, especially in Kansas in the spring where the wind is going to play a big role in your fishing, you want to understand how the wind is going to move the bait fish. Wind-blown shorelines tend to really stack up bait fish, and when bait fish get stacked up, that brings in predator fish. And so we have fished almost exclusively on this whole 5-day fishing trip. We have fished a single point, and whichever way the wind is coming, we tend to find the windward face of that point, and we hammer it hard. And occasionally we get into the lee a little bit and have some success there too, but generally the wind-blown shoreline tends to stack up the bait fish, brings in the wiper and the walleye as well, and we've had a lot of success fishing that type of structure. So if you're coming to Kansas and you're fishing in the wind, find a place where the bait fish are getting pushed up against the shoreline, trapping them, and the predator fish are soon to follow. Let them run, boys. Double heading it here. We got the jerk bait, hard bait here for Garrett's fish. Yeah, bud, way to be. Boom. Let's go check out Jared's action.
Just going down.
This is what it's about here, guys. These fish really dog down on you, and it's an incredible fight.
As if the amazing wiper fishing wasn't enough, we decided to go on an afternoon exploratory mission for some big carp on the lake's expansive spawning flats. It wasn't long into the adventure before Garrett had landed a decent carp, and then hooked into something else that we knew was going to be big.
Oh man, is he bending that rod? Yeah, Garrett, very cool. He's still not gonna let us look at him, huh? Or is he? All right, Garrett. We can see the swivel, guys, that goes down to the hitches to the leader, so we know he's super close, but the water is so stained. We still haven't really got a comprehensive look at this fish. Look at this fish, you guys. That was an aggressive fight. And Garrett hooked into a huge catfish. Hands down the biggest fish of the trip. We have no, I don't think there's anything to argue about there, right? That's the biggest fish by a long shot.
It is.
And you did a really nice job getting him out of the shallows. We are excited that we've increased our species count by 1.
Departing the shallow carp flats, we headed back to our favorite point to rendezvous with our friends on the other boat. Little did we know that as we arrived, JB was about to put the cherry on top of an already incredible fishing trip.
Smile huge, man. This is the fish of the trip. Woo! You guys, look at this wiper. It's epic. Well guys, thanks for joining us today on the Colorado Wickedfisha. I'm glad you could come with us as we made our return trip to Kansas on a spring fishing trip, which is usually about coming into the backs of the coves and hunting for the bass in pre-spawn and spawning mode. Unfortunately on this trip, a massive cold front pushed through the area just days before. And it was a blizzard in fact, and it really shut off the bite. It really changed that dynamic. And we were very lucky to talk to some locals and get put onto a totally different bite, which was a wiper bite out on the main lake, fishing main lake points. We had an incredible experience. I don't think I've ever really experienced a bite quite like that with big fish after big fish after big fish. I know myself, and I can speak for my friends who would also agree that we had just an incredible time. So thanks for joining us today on the Colorado Wickedfisha. I'm really glad you could come along. We'll see you next time.